gotta be aware of those things.
Yeah, no, like it's more about what the person is doing, like not who they know they
Yeah.
are with.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
There's
the
only one
habits.
person I'm tracking who's he with. Emile up, moving
Okay.
right along.
Yeah.
And then it was on Tuesday or Wednesday when we had that the Grammy Award winner, DJ Black Coffee. He was injured in an airplane accident. He was flying to a performance in Argentina. I think he was in between gigs, so he was in transit to the next gig. So apparently, there was I think it crashed, but he survived. He was injured.
So there was did you see that there was some talks about people
The
on
ex-wife.
Twitter about why does she look like she's happy about the situation?
Hey, I
you see
did
that?
come across that, and there was also something that was posted in one of the gossip column pages. They were saying that Ugel, she posted something about it's a video of a child, like a toddler. They're playing drums. Like it's a nice sound, and the end is like, "This is the best sound I've ever had," and basically it's like,
yeah.
So,
So
people were taking it out of context. I don't know, Naya. Her timing was just off. Maybe she hadn't heard. I don't know. And then there's another video that is also making rounds that she sent an email, but yeah, there's a lot that is being said about it, that she's happy that Nati.
nuances that she's putting
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's just bad timing.
Undertones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I
don't know, like.
But I mean, I think we just keep praying for Black Coffee, to
Yeah.
recover and get back to do what he
Yes.
And I mean, this is a guy who's a representative of the country.
Yeah.
He's making his own cash and so forth. But I mean, we are proud of him being the man that he is and sort of representing us very well. So.
No, he is. I mean, he's of international standard now. So yeah. And he brought in, well, I think he's in partnership with one of these big international clothing brands, Amari. I'm not too familiar with it, but apparently it's like the rave with the celebrities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know that there was one. There's this other brand. I think it's called Low. Yeah, that's the one that people were crazy about because everyone's like basically wearing Low now. But anyway. Yeah, yes, we wish him a speedy recovery. And then back home, the families of the Cradock 4 say the reopening of the inquest is kind of bittersweet. Those activists, as we know, the names were Fort Talata, Matthew Goniwe, Sicelo Mhlawuli, and Sparo Mkhondo, who were killed 39 years ago. And their families believe that their killers are still alive and walking free.
Yeah, I think, it's one of the good news,
it is.
thing for the families so that they can get closure.
Oh, yes.
I know that's one of the things that's always being mentioned around this. But of course, it's not only closure, but also the question of justice.
Of course.
Whether or not then they will feel that at the end of the day, it's something else. But I think, it's one of the sort of greater things that still follow the new sort of government in terms of what happened with the, Truth and Reconciliation Commission. All of those things that were said, there's been no follow-ups and so forth.
No, there hasn't been. I think it was, I don't know, for me, that Truth and Reconciliation was more like opening up the wounds and not closing them. It was more of a PR stand. I don't know. I'm not sure what really came out of that TRC except for, excuse me, Ndoka Krisani.
No, look, I think there had been a lot of things that had been said around how it was then closed, because then it started, the rumors in the political circle that it was then shut down by Thabo because it started moving in the direction of the ANC and some of the atrocities that may have been committed
by the party itself.
And that's how then it was abruptly sort of, even the report was never really made public as it were. So yeah, but mean, it's a good thing for those credit for.
No, definitely. And then I'm not sure if you had followed the Tongaat Hewlett story.
The big story with who's this guy?
Gumede.
Gumede,
Yes, yes,
trying
yes.
to
Yeah,
buy
so
this.
yes, so basically they
Is the
have
deal closed?
the deal is closed. They're in their consortium. It's him and another Zimbabwean businessman, and I think it's 2 Arabic guys that are part of that consortium. So yeah, but I think there's like debt or something. There's other levies that are still lurking in the picture that need to be basically sorted and so forth. So basically, Robert Gumede is one of the people that have bought over.
I think for the jobs, I mean, for the people there in
definitely.
KZN, that's a big up for them.
No, it is. It's their livelihoods that will be affected.
And I think, I mean, we know that there's been also a lot of questions around the SAA one. That Utata Law Pravin is refusing to answer questions to Parliament. There are a lot of questions around that one. We'll see how that works out.
I don't know what's the deal with him. Like Ingati Aka, I don't know. He doesn't want to be accountable or be upfront with information. I don't know.
But okay.
Okay, and then in Morocco, so Morocco's ambassador in Geneva was elected to become the president of the United Nations Human Rights Council this year. So it was a secret ballot vote amongst the members of the state. So in Morocco, I think we don't really hear much about it in the international sphere, except, the famous Casablanca, in Marrakesh. So I think, African countries are kind of trying to rise some of the African countries are rising to the occasion now. And I remember, was it last year or the year before last, when Morocco, I think it was the only team that was in the World Cup in Africa.
The women's team.
Yeah, and then they said no, they identify as Arabic or as Europe or something. They don't identify as Africa. And I'm like, but you're in Africa. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, there was a lot of halubalu about that. Which I think for me, above all else, that's been raised quite a number of times about these Arabic nations that are in Africa who don't kind of associate themselves with the African
continent.
So
I think it's still Egypt that is mostly
Egypt, and but most others. I mean, it's around this topic you'll find Morocco and Tunisia.
Morocco, it's Tunisia,
and those are the guys actually.
Yeah, but is it Algeria or Libya?
Libya and Algeria, you don't hear about them.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah,
but I mean, they are in the African World Cup now, so we're gonna
yes.
see. And they shouldn't be playing there if they don't identify as African.
Exactly. Yeah. And then so moving towards one of those controversial stories. So there were fresh strikes that targeted Yemen's Houthis on Saturday. So these Houthis are the ones that were at sea at some point. Remember, there was a hijack of ship.
So the US is involved in that.
Is involved, yes.
And they've started the bombardment of Yemen. And,
yes.
People are crying all over. And I think, I mean, the other thing is, which I think is of utmost importance, is that this is all in the Middle East. And so there's a lot that's brewing there around what the United States is doing now, and Britain, on top of what Israel is doing. And even they are involved in the Israeli matter as well, Britain and US. So there's a lot. I hope that this year will not be reduced to these wars as it was last year. I mean, last year was mostly, we started the year with Russia
and Ukraine,
and then later on with Israel and Hamas. Because I mean, this is not a war against Palestine, but
No.
it is now because they were saying it's against. That's what Israel is saying. They are saying it's against Hamas. I mean, but we know what is happening.
Exactly.
The Palestinians are suffering as a result of this.
Yes.
What these guys are doing. So, and it was nice also to see the South African delegation.
Yes. Yeah, that was my next one.
I think it was a brilliant presentation.
No, it was. I was quite impressed as well.
Yeah,
I was quite impressed.
From the first to the last, and
it holds water.
Yeah, and internationally, there's been. I mean, I know. There has been also an outcry around media attention to what was happening. And I know that I didn't see it on CNN. Maybe some people saw it a little bit.
I didn't see it on CNN either. In fact, I didn't even think on tuning into CNN because I was...
Even on Sky News, I didn't see. But Al Jazeera, they were covering very nicely that particular story. And of course, I mean, Israel on Friday, which... I thought for me it was substandard. Their response. No,
it was substandard. That's what I felt as well.
Yeah,
that's what I felt.
And also, I think their response was not necessarily factual, but it was to debunk what was being put on the table.
Yes.
So, which then for me makes the presentation. Without the opposition, they would not have been able to bring. There's nothing new that they brought to the table.
No, there isn't.
And of course, I mean, that was their role. And someone will say, yeah, that was what they needed to do. But it was not substantive enough in my view. And I doubt that the ICJ would find otherwise. But like we said, we're going to bring Hector in to maybe speak to that
definitely.
A little bit more.
Yeah, I think, that's the best way to unpack it. Yeah. So that's just about it. Is there anything else?
How can yesterday?
What happened?
Yesterday there was January 8th.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh my word. Oh
she forgets the January 8th.
Oh my gosh. So they celebrated their 112th birthday. Yes.
It was on Monday the 8th.
On Monday the 8th, yes.
It was during the week. So a lot of crisscrossing that I saw in the Mpumalanga that the guys were doing there. There are lots of visits. Of course, before that, there was then the blunder by Mr. Mbalula, where he said, we lied about Zuma and all of that.
Like,
for him.
I don't understand. Like, I just didn't get, like, why did you have to go there? I think sometimes, like, it's you don't need to entertain stories. Just say, you know what, we dealt with it then, we are here now.
But you must understand that it's okay for him. It's ill discipline of the person of that stature in the leadership of the ANC to have said those things.
Exactly.
Because he says those things being irritated by the fact that Zuma was also in Nelspruit with his MK, and they had what you call a meeting or rally. I don't know what.
But now you're out is just spiteful. Like it was so unnecessary. I mean, like it's like EFF coming to Mpumalanga having its own. Like, come on.
No, look. I think they are trying to show that maybe they can, shake the ANC a little bit and get the ANC worried about MK. And I think part of that provocation is based on the fact that the ANC really has been quiet, since his media statement, the ANC has said nothing. And perhaps maybe this provocation was to get the ANC to make
talk.
A mistake.
Yes. And they did. Fell. Yes, fell for the trick. I mean, it's like a guerrilla tactic, Leanna. Come on.
So,
I was so taken aback. Like, I was like, you didn't have to say anything. You could have just kept, like, they could have just said, guys, we are focusing on the January 8th celebrations. Whatever is happening, wherever it's happening. I say, he needs to comment on it, I think
we can all agree, guys, that Mameking Pazik, Mbalula sometimes he needs, I think he needs tutoring, and he needs sort of some form of education around that position and what are the things he needs to respond to.
But
what are the things he doesn't
I'm sorry,
to respond to,
like you've been MU20 for how long? I mean, he was a leader of the youth league at some point. So you kind of, if ungumntu who's curious to learn, uzoyazi ukubana at a certain level, like also to see ubuyohawula,
Yeah.
like that is like.
But that's not him. That's the
Uh,
thing. It's not him. That's
I
why I'm
don't
saying
know.
he needs a little bit of
Of
tutoring
coaching.
and yeah,
No.
because it's really was amateur of him.
I was shocked. I thought
that.
It was just
And of
like
course,
a silly
we know
joke.
that ulanduka kuthiwa urespondile mosinaye lo meke ezeyibilile ngalamene kuthiwa urespondile wathi la nto uMbalula ayithethayo ayikho, that thing that we said was the real thing.
But the damage was already done.
Yeah, but his response also was that he said that Umbalula is the most ill-disciplined SG.
Oh my gosh. So naye uthi ezabulungisa betyabeke ecaleni. They could have just.
But I think also, I mean, he responds from a position of being sort of an outsider, if you like, because if you look at the ANC currently, Untlengo is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it's nowhere.
So he probably responds from a position of bitterness.
Yeah,
I think
chasing
not necessarily, from a position of
yes, yeah.
But guys, that's the current affairs we have. And the last one, I think,
oh yes, her resignation.
Thank you.
You know, someone was saying, I don't know where I read it. Someone was saying, why doesn't ANC it over the age etile sanicela man, thank you for igalelo lenu, thank you for ABCD, sicela nje nisi.
Look,
you know,
I agree with that person 100%. I was saying now to a friend of mine,
yes,
before this,
that
look, it was an error for even Mutande to actually send that invitation.
Exactly.
Should not have sent that invitation.
No.
And in fact, now it's about time that I think the ANC should actually sit down and say, okay, Ubani Nobani, all of these old ladies and old timers, and say, hey, gentlemen,
Mabane age.
Yeah, gentlemen, we think now we've come to the end of the road. But of course, I mean, that has to be done with some mentoring that's happening along the line.
Of course.
So that we know that but there are people who are specialists
exactly.
So that's where the problem of the ANC, and also the fact that the thinking that Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma has a constituency that still wants her there. I mean, it's come on.
You know.
And of course, I mean, part of that, or the media went all out then to, put that. I heard that in the morning, Izolo from SAFM and putting it out as breaking news. I mean, it shouldn't be breaking news.
It shouldn't be.
It's
not breaking news.
It's breaking news because there was a letter that was sent.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, that shouldn't be an issue. She's old. Why are they making it an issue?
It's a non-issue. I think I don't know. Like, okay, Mnane, my like opinion is that Ababandu struggle. They feel that they are owed something, and they want to milk the positions that they are in to the very last breath that they have. And I feel that is not. There has to be some sort of transition. There has to be. What is the word that is used in corporately? Skills transfer, succession plan. There has to be a succession plan within the policies as the ANC. Okay, guys, yes, we understand you fought for the freedom. You were part of the group that fought for the freedom. However, Ngoku, we need to get people that are going to drive certain aspects of the country, like your economy, like attracting foreign investors, this and this and this, and people like experts, like even this thing of cadre deployment.
The cadre deployment,
is get people that are driven and they're expert in those particular positions.
Look, the cadre deployment. I think the aspect of it is to get people who are going to drive the organization's policies,
of course,
which is not wrong in itself, but then you need to get people who are going to drive that in a specialized, who are experts in themselves.
Yes, exactly.
So that you don't get people who are incompetent to drive an agenda, and that agenda then does not become the agenda of the organization. It becomes an agenda of certain individuals.
Yes,
because we can actually use you in that position. You didn't get there because you are a specialist.
Yes,
you got there because there's an agenda or certain guys who put you there. And which I think for me it boils down to one thing, and I'm sure all of you guys can agree with me. One, my wife's Tato Mncinci once said, part of the problems is that you have a guy who is an MEC or a minister who doesn't have a high profile position in the organization.
Yes.
And you have a chairperson, like let's make a simple example of this 2 centers of power.
Yeah.
A KZN,
sure.
you have the premier, and then you have
the
Uduma.
Oh,
yeah. So
yes.
now what you are having there is that basically the premier is supposed to drive the agenda
of course
of the organization,
yes.
which is Uduma is. Now, Uduma is senior politically too.
Of course, the current premier.
Yeah. So that then doesn't give a premier much room to maneuver. Because so if the premier doesn't do what they want, they can have a meeting so remove
recall, yes,
someone else. So those are the dynamics that
that is a thing.
The whole deployment brings to the fore is that you can be an MEC, be powerful in government, but ube senior in between.
Sure.
And if you don't do what the guys are saying in between,
so recall,
ube competent in doing what you need to do, and you ube refuse to use the tactics as
yes.
So those are some of the dynamics. But guys, thank you, Spooky, for that particular current affairs. And next week there'll be more, guys. And even now, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I'm sure we've left out quite a lot. But we want to say we know that AFCON Kalile, and we want to say all the best to Bafana Bafana. We hope, guys, all of you will support them in the same way you supported rugby. Rugby here is used as a measuring stick. In terms of support nationally, but I doubt Bafana they will have to work very hard to get to that level.
I don't even know like that's how much I have.
Same as I. Same as I.
It's not that I'm not patriotic, but if the performance is just not coming.
We are all patriots, but there are certain measures that we want. To level up to before we can all go out and say, "Hi, Bafana."
Yo, but remember 1996?
1996 was a different, I mean, the football was brilliant.
It was
entertainment. And there was everything. So guys, we're going to play your song, and those who are watching us on Facebook, unfortunately, we're gonna have to come out because Facebook is gonna have issues with us if we play live Ngoma Lena. But the song we're playing, just for your taste, guys, to know the song, is Shy. If I Ever Fall in Love. I don't know if you've fallen in love. Okanye uplana ufalla in love. Okanye there's an opportunity for you to fall in love now.
It's got an application esngenle.
Okanye wena ingxaki ke is that maybe you're falling in love, but Lamdu is not falling in love.
Hey, khona leyo.
Falling in love by yourself. Teaser.
Yo. Ayo shy kodwa le fakile.
Is it not? No, man, they're not rough ends.
This takes me back to 1993.
Spogi has issues between us. So,
oh yes, music book. Yes, of course.
Okay, guys.
Bye.
Woo!